Right, just returned from my holidays here. So this is 14th of June 2025. Xtreme PNE. This is just a very quick podcast update focused on transfer ins and outs while I've been away for a couple of weeks. I'm following up on the last two podcasts we did recently, myself and Steve. Right, let's jump straight into the subject matter. Looking at the players we've signed so far, which is 4 players, I'll just give my quick evaluation of those players. And the first one being Thompson, 28 years old, signed from Stoke City. For me, that one stinks of, as usual, another ageing, mediocre journeyman type player who will have no resale value at the end of his 3-year contract when he's 31 years of age. I will forecast now, and you can all make a note of this, that he will be your typical average championship player who hardly ever gets above 6 out of 10 for his performances. Hugely disappointing as well was the right back slot, where Heckingbottom, contrary to wanting to go for youth, actually went for Sheffield Wednesday's Paul Valentin, again 28 years old, 3-year contract, taking him up to 31 years of age, when, yes, you guessed it, he will, as with Thompson, be worth sweet FA, worth not a penny. So both those players will ultimately become liabilities on the club's books. Looking at the other two signings, Everson 27, probably 28 now, or soon to be 28. Great signing. I'll make an exception for him because he's been an outstanding goalkeeper when he's been on loan at Preston in the past. I was looking at his saves the other night for Preston and Stoke City, and he was pulling off saves he had no right to get to. That being the case, I'm bang in line with Everson being signed. Small, signed for 20. Can't believe we actually pulled that one off. That's a real major coup. Apparently, we paid a £200,000 compensation fee to Charlton for him, with him having actually refused to sign a new contract. He's got great potential. He's fast, rapid. He's very skillful. He falls into the category of player I've been banging on about for over 30 years, which is young, can be developed, sold for a huge profit, with the money then being reinvested in repeating the cycle. That then is my assessment, quick assessment of the players we've signed so far. 2 very good signings and 2 typical Preston Ridgedale signings, mediocre in the extreme, no value. The other situation is regarding another player we might be interested in. The rumours this morning are resurfacing regarding McBurney, who I believe has now just turned 29. Again, an ageing player who a lot of Preston fans will argue, well, he can bang the goals in for us up front and he's a problem up front for opposing defenders. Again, I come back to we need younger players. McBurney will get a huge signing on fee. There's no doubt about that. And he will be demanding big wages. I'll go on to that in a minute, who I think we should be going for instead. Because as I say, 29 years old, he becomes once again a member of the retirement club, who quickly, just scanning through the PNE retirement club, which consists of Cornell 34, Brady 33, Lindsay 29, Hughes 33, Potts 31, Keane 32, Whiteman 28, Watmouth 28, and then we've got Thompson 28 and Valentin 28, and it looks like soon to be added McBurney 29. In total, those guys, if we sign McBurney as well, you'd be talking about annual wages of almost £3 million. And that retirement club, because of their age, means when their contracts expire, when they become 31, 33 or 34, they will be worth 0. No return. In other words, they become liabilities on the club's books. I'm always arguing we need more. We need to sign 4 Thierry Small type signings every season to make the club viable. Not just once every several years. That's not good enough. That then is regarding the retirement club. What's happened since I last spoke to you? We've now had it confirmed that Kean Best, who was released, just 19 years old, that's our England left back, it looks like he's just signed for mighty Premiership club, top 6 club, Chelsea, on a free transfer. That one beggars belief. Chelsea have obviously seen something in the lad. Will he ever make the Chelsea first team? I seriously doubt it, but they have seen some potential they think they can develop, and they're probably taking the view we can develop him for 2 years and then sell him on for about 2 or 3 million quid. That begs the questions. What the hell of our manager, Heckingbottom, and his co-manager, McCall, what have they been doing that they forced the lad out? I heard the rumours there was a huge argument with his father, who was demanding, quite correctly, higher wages for Best and wanted a full-time contract extended, which wasn't forthcoming. It appears, therefore, as though the club did not keep their word with Kean Best, who we've now lost. Looks like he's gone to Chelsea, which I'm not happy about. In line with that, it also looks as though it's fairly imminent that Theo Mawene is refusing to sign a contract, or he hasn't been actually offered his first professional contract, which means he's been lined up for, it was Brentford at one stage, now it's possibly Brighton, both Premiership clubs. And if that one comes to fruition, again, it comes back to serious questions with heads that should be rolling over the complete mismanagement of the young players we have at the club. All you have to do is look at it in the context of the last 15 games of last season. We won 1 game in the last 15. During that period, the highly paid, experienced players turned in turgid performance after turgid performance, and the likes of Best and Theo Mawene would have been watching the first teamers, wondering what the hell they had to do to get into the first team. So that is a huge criticism of Heckingbottom and his assistant McCall and the youth coaches who should have been pushing. And just look at the youngsters we've thrown away over the past few years. That's Best, possibly now Theo Mawene, Dolan, England under-19 winger, Aaron Bennett, many of you don't even know about him. He should have come through and made it big, but he was booted out. We had Slater, sold for peanuts to Brighton, and years ago, but it was still on Peter Ridsdale's watch. Josh Brownhill went to Bristol City for peanuts, and 18 months ago, I think it was, Bristol City sold Brownhill to Burnley for £9 million. I estimate on Theo Mawene, Dolan, Bennett, Slater, Brownhill, in total, the mismanagement of those youngsters by Ridsdale and his then managers has lost the club something like £15 million in sales value, which is unforgivable. Again, heads should roll for that, but nothing ever seems to happen at this club. The last point quickly to make is, so I've praised 2 of the signings, I've criticised 2 of the signings, which is easy enough for me to do. My proposal then is this: what do I think we should do to move the club forward in the remaining part of pre-season in terms of new players to be signed? Forward line needs bolstering because it's pretty abysmal at the moment. And I would be arguing we need to bring in Kamari Doyle, 19 years old, from Brighton. A few of you will remember he played in a FA Youth Cup game against us a couple of seasons ago for Southampton. I think it was Southampton, when he ran us ragged. And I made a note of his name at the time. He was on loan at Exeter City last season, did very well there. Brighton are expecting great things from him. He's what I call an old inside type forward. So I believe 19 years old, Kamari Doyle we should be getting in on loan. If we could, after Peter Ridsdale screwed up on his initial attempt to sign Josh Coburn, 22 years old from Middlesbrough. I strongly suspect we're going to lose him to Millwall, but if we could get him for £2 million, that's the lad we want to go for. Josh Coburn, old-fashioned, centre forward, good in the air, he's got good mobility, not lightning pace, but he can still go past players and he can finish. So he would be my main signing up front. I'd also bolster that with on loan from Liverpool, 19 years old, Danz. I think he's about 6'1", very fast lad. He should have been given his major breakthrough at Liverpool by now, but he hasn't. So we take him for a season's loan and we develop him before giving him back to Liverpool. On the wings, during this summer period, I've not heard one mention of Heckingbottom being interested in an outright attacking winger, the type of player, Liam Miller type of player, who gets you on the edge of your seats. For that, I've got two recommendations. One would be Poku, 23 years old, a free transfer. He's still available apparently. Birmingham City haven't signed him yet, so we need to act quickly. Poku, 23, who's got lightning pace and he's got God's given skills where he can beat players with ease. Or the one that many of you know about that I'm always banging on about, which is Kwando Bar, 22, 23 years old from Watford. He's in and out of their team. What it needs is a club to sign him and say, this is going to be your home. We're going to build a team around you. So settle in. We mean to develop you and not play games with you. Either of those. And then the possible solution to the club's biggest mistake in its entire history of apparently paying £1.7 million for Ockles would be for Peter Ridsdale to think outside the box, go back to Utrecht and offer them Ockles in exchange for Iqbal, 22 years old, a midfielder with skills that get you on the edge of your seat. He's quite fast as well. He'd get, again, like Poku or Bar, he'd have you on the edge of your seats. That's what we've been lacking. Iqbal would be the ideal creative midfield signing that we've not done. So that's my quick update today. I'll skim through it as quickly as possible. I'll be coming through with another update towards the end of the summer period when I do a quick review then of how things might pan out for the season. So far, to summarise, 2 signings, very good. 2 signings, not impressed at all. So let's see what happens the rest of this window. We'll follow it up soon. Good day.